Hey guys, my name is Mitch. Welcome back to Electrified Reviews. Today we're going to be checking out the Pedego store here in the Woodlands. We are doing a review of a Pedego bike, so that'll be coming here shortly. I wanted to check in and see what the typical customer experience was like here, so let's go. What this is, looks like a coffee roaster or something like that. Oh. Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to Pedego.
Yes, thank you. Mitch.
Richard, good to meet you, Mitch.
Yes, nice to meet you.
What brings you in today?
Well, I'm here doing a review for Pedego. Looks like we're reviewing that bike right there. But I wanted to come in and check it out and see what your store is all about.
Oh, great! Welcome. And so, Pedego Woodlands is an independent store, one of over 200 around the nation. And every store, as you will see, has a little bit of personality that differentiates them from each other, but we all have the same common goal of passion for the customer. And they're all the store owners are typically people who've owned a Pedego before and then got into the business because they absolutely love what they do.
Interesting.
So we've got a wide variety of bikes. We can pretty much make a bike fit your needs. As I always say to people, we make the bike fit the person, not the person fit the bike. So we'll make the bike right for you, and we'll do that by, we'll take you out for a ride and give you a heck of an experience and make sure we get the perfect fit.
I like that.
So, yeah, well, great. So the bike we have for you today is the Element. This is the Platinum Element, which is a new introduction to our product line, and it's a phenomenal bike. It's got upgrades galore. Not always obvious looking right at the bike, but we've got an upgrade on the gears. We've got a 10 gear bike, it's an upgrade. We've got upgrade on the derailleur. We've got suspension forks. We have the ability, this is an option to have signals and rear lights. We've got front light included. The lock you see comes with our 5-year theft warranty. The bike, if it gets stolen, we'll replace the bike at no charge.
For 5 years?
5 years.
Wow, okay.
And that matches the warranty on the bike as well, which includes the battery on the bike. So prorated the last 2 years, but nobody else in the industry can talk about a warranty of 5 years.
No.
It is very unique, and we're very proud of it. And we really are passionate about providing that to our customers when they come in the store. If there's someone got an issue, we make sure that they go and talk about that 5-year warranty as well. That's very important. So this is what we consider a adventure bike is one of the terms we use. Some people say a trail bike, off-road bike, but it's more designed for outdoor tracks, mud, bit off-roading.
Okay, yeah, I see they got some aggressive knobs here on the tires, which is good for that. Fenders, keeping everything squared away.
And that said, these tires, we can change those tires if that's not the tire you want. So this is the standard tire, but we can customize it to what riding you need to do. If you want a quieter tire for the road, let's say, we can put a different tread on the tire.
Okay.
Most people stick with the tire, but we can do the same with the saddle. We have many options. What you see on the bike is not always what you leave the store with. This is a suspension seat.
Okay. Very
popular design. With the Connect suspension. It does come with a standard suspension.
This one's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a spring suspension that's a linear spring, whereas this is it's also a linear spring, but it's linear to the pedals, where this goes with the post. I'll not get into too much detail on that, but the saddle, it's excellent for someone who rides a lot of bikes, but a lot of our customers, it's not always what they're looking for. So we can come up with different designs of saddle. Some people like the cushion, some people like a more fitted design of saddle.
Yeah.
We'll meet their requirements, and we can do things to analyze the customer, measure the customer's wrist, and we can potentially get a perfect fit for the customer. It just depends where the customer wants to be with the comfort of the bike and how. If you're riding to the grocery store, you don't need a state-of-the-art saddle.
Yeah.
But if you're riding 20-30 miles, which a lot of our customers will say, I'll never do that, and then the next week I'll ride 30 miles with them.
Yeah.
So
So swapping out saddles, that's something that's easy to do, and that's something you guys
Very
typically
easy to do. We do it all the time. Saddles, we put inserts. If people get a lot of thorns in the tires, like a car, I get 3 punctures in my car in a week, and then I never have one for 5 years.
Yeah.
But you know, we can put inserts in the tires to protect against punctures. We put sealant in the tires, so if you do get a puncture, it's self-healing.
Okay.
We do a lot of little things that don't always show on the front, but when you ride the bike, it gives you the ability to have a much more reliable bike. And you know, that even goes down to we don't use low-cost components. Every component on our bike is typically a quality name brand product, even down to the batteries. And
yeah, because what cells are in the batteries?
So we use Samsung, LG, and Panasonic are the 3 brands we use. Typically,
those
you'll
3
find
good
Samsung.
ones.
Absolutely, all certified to a UL standard, and we're in the process of getting complete UL standard certification, which should be in the next few weeks.
That's sweet.
So yeah, and that safety is very important with batteries.
Yeah,
very important.
yeah,
so,
especially at this point in the industry, there's a lot of bad press about batteries and things like that.
Absolutely.
So it's nice that you guys are doing something, using name brand cells, doing things like that. Those are all things that as a reviewer, we like to see that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we appreciate the bad press because we are reactive to things like this, and we want to be safe and have a quality. So we don't appreciate bad press about us, but
yeah, yeah,
we want the industry to change for the better.
Yeah,
and we've always been kind of ahead of the curve and proactive on these things. So we're glad it's driving the industry, because it's bad news if any e-bike catches fire. So we don't want to get into that market.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the way. So you receive this bike from Pedego. When you guys receive them, are they in boxes? Are they fully put together? How does that work?
Yeah. So at the store, here's Laurie.
Hi.
Laurie also speaks strange like me, but it's a family business. So everybody in the store works on the bikes, sells the bikes, maintains the bikes. We build the bikes. So when the bike comes, we don't get a fully assembled bike. We have a workshop in there where we assemble the bike, test the bike, we bed the brakes in. We do all the, even though the manual says bed the brakes in, we do everything. So you take the bike out of the store, you get it delivered that day, and it's set up perfect, ready to ride.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, nothing to do. So that's something we pride ourselves on, and you don't have to have an owner manual learning how to build an e-bike.
Yeah.
Which is a little more complicated than people might think sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of the people that we talk to, and whether it's online or on the website, they always have questions that probably should have been explained to them by the people they're buying their bikes from. And I think that the education part is lacking a little bit. So if somebody comes in, they don't know anything about e-bikes, you guys can walk them through the process and explain how it works and show them how to do things on it.
Absolutely. We can educate the customer to the level they wish to be educated to. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, there's so much information, but we research and study every aspect of the bikes, and not just e-bikes, but bikes as a whole, and the saddles, everything. We try to be as knowledgeable as possible and relay that information to our customers so they can make an educated decision and get the right bike.
Yeah, yeah. So Pedego sent you this one. It looks like there's some different accessories. I see the bag in the back. This is something that's an accessory for you guys?
The thing we love to do is to customize the bike.
Yeah.
We love to play. We like to put beautiful fenders on. We like to play, this is just one example. It's almost like your old suitcase, you can expand it out like a suitcase. You can expand panniers on each side.
Nice.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of bags. And all our accessories, a lot of the things with Pedego it's not what it appears on the outside.
Yeah.
There's so many unique things we do, and we really do invest a lot of time in selecting unique and quality accessories. Quality is always number one word. Price is always important, but number one focus is quality components. So we don't have customers upset with the purchase long term.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, It's amazing what a little extra money will get you in the long term of things. You know,
Right.
for some people, I think it's hard for them to think that way. But when you explain the benefits of, hey, if you get, you know, this component, it's gonna, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's gonna last you 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is.
Absolutely. And you know, from a business perspective, if a customer leaves happy and has a long-term relationship, they're your best salesman.
Yeah.
We can't sell the bikes as well as our customers.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's always a good thing.
No, word of mouth is the most powerful type of sale. So
Yeah. So, you know, we don't just sell the bike though.
yeah,
You know, as you walked in, you may have seen the coffee roasting.
I did. Yeah, I was wondering what that was out there.
Well, one of my many crazy hobbies is roasting coffee. So
Okay.
we roast coffee typically on every Saturday morning. We'll be roasting. It's not as much fun in Texas heat as it is now. Right now, I think we get a record day of 109. But we love to roast and share it. We, you know, I always like to share our coffee. We try to get a bag to match the bike, you know. But
Okay.
these are what I call our rider recharge kit, and this is this is
like
our
that.
coffee. I can't let you smell it over the video.
Yeah,
This is.
it smells good. I can confirm.
We do sample our coffee to people. We never sell the coffee. It's just part of the perk of being a Pedego owner. So we do tours. We do rides with our customers. Always, when a customer comes in the store, we like to ride as many bikes as they can. We want to identify the perfect fit, as I would call it, for the customer. So most of our customers come in, it's a knee, it's a back, they just want to be comfortable.
Yeah,
So we'll make sure that we get that bike set up and adjusted. So, you know, saddle position, we may, you know, we have adjustable handlebars, so we may want to position it this way, or we may just manually get the right parts and set the bike up perfect for them. Fenders, more important, you know, is the look.
yeah. And so if somebody's going to come in, they want to test ride bikes, do you guys charge them to do test rides?
Absolutely not.
But they're all free.
I have customers come in at 10 in the morning and leave at 5 at night. Never charge them a penny.
Yeah,
We want to make sure it costs us more to sell them the wrong bike
yeah,
than to sell them the right bikes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very important to us. And we hear so many bad stories of people buying bikes on the internet and
Yeah.
things, and they call us very desperate.
Yeah.
Can't get parts, and often we can't get parts for them either.
Yeah.
A lot of the companies are going out of business nowadays because, you know, they're just not set up to do this. And
Yeah.
we got a strong company behind us, so we're lucky with that.
Yeah, that is sweet. And that's the thing I noticed. So I came in, I was looking at this one because I knew we were going to review this bike. But you guys do have a lot of options here.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's not just like these, you know, fat tire, you know, adventure bikes like you're talking about. Like it looks like there's kind of a bike for everybody here.
Yeah, I mean, right from I consider it one of the lowest step-throughs in the industry. It's a 9-inch step-through here, so
Oh, okay.
you know, your customer, your rider can easily get on this bike, and a lot of our customers, that's a very important fact.
Yeah.
You know, the ease of riding the bike, getting on the bike. Many of them haven't ridden a bike for a long time.
Yeah.
So we want to be sure that the experience is comfortable. And talking to people that don't ride bikes for a long time, that's why we do the ride outside. And very rarely we do have a customer that it isn't the right fit, and we want to make sure that we don't send someone home with a bike that's not the right, you know,
Yeah.
they're not set up for a bike. So it is important to experience the bikes. And then we got the more fancy looking bikes. All these things like the flowers and the colored pedals are all little things that we do. I wouldn't say we get bored, but we just get excited about new ideas,
Yeah.
putting new fenders on. And you know, just the other week, a customer suggested red fenders on that bike, and we just loved it, so we put one up front. You know,
Oh, yeah. That is slick.
and you see some other. So one thing with Pedego, we're not a franchise, we're a dealer, so we can go out and find accessories that are not particularly Pedego accessories, but are great fits for the bike. And as a dealer network, we all talk, there's at least 200 stores that we're chattering every day, and we find the great matches for the bikes that
That's cool.
accessorize it. We've got 200 people times 4 or 5 per store researching different products, and it really is powerful what
Yeah.
we can come up with accessories, even down to our little straw hat helmet here, you know.
Oh, that's a helmet.
Yeah, this is I shouldn't put it on, it's not very... But this is very popular. Actually, Martha Stewart's a big fan of this helmet, and it's a really neat concept.
That is cool. Yeah, no, I didn't know that was a helmet.
Yeah, we do pretty it up, but everything pretty much is functional.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, you know, we can choose the size of the battery, we can choose the style of bike, we've got... I could come hundreds of combinations of bikes.
Yeah.
Pretty much 18 basic designs, I think we're at now, maybe 20. But we got a lot of different designs of frame, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, so most of these are like cruiser, kind of, you know, step through mid steps. On this one, you guys have some more stuff that's like more off-road, or?
We kind of section the store off into groups, and you know, these are more your road bikes, we've got mountain bikes, and then cruiser bikes, tandem, foldable bikes.
Oh, I didn't even see the tandem one over there.
Yeah.
So it's a tandem electric bike.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Fun bike. As long as you can agree with each other, it's a great thing for a marriage. You know,
it's either a great thing for a marriage or the worst thing for a marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the foldable latch. One of the things that amazed me, I wasn't a big fan of the idea of a foldable bike. The concept didn't marry well with me, but when this bike showed up and we saw it, every aspect of it, it's just solid. And everything just firm and well made. The bike is just, and I've seen a lot of foldable bikes.
It's a popular type of.
It's a great
bike.
concept. I like bigger wheels, so I'm not a big fan of that concept. But if you're a pilot, a lot of pilots buy these. It just slips in the back of the, or boats, RVs.
Yeah.
Someone who really space is an issue, then it's a great solution.
And I'm noticing this guy right here. Is that some sort of, like, when it folds up, does it have some sort of like latch it connects to?
Yeah, it actually latches in. It's a mechanical latch. And
right into here.
Into there. So it's really compact. You see the bag here? That's actually a wheeled bag. It fits inside that bag.
And then you can wheel it around.
You can wheel it around.
That's cool.
So yeah, they just throw it in the back of whatever, and it's very transportable.
Yeah, that is sweet.
And that comes with the 52 volt 17 amp battery, range of about 75 miles.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
I don't know if I've seen a bike that's this small at 52 volts.
It's amazing. Yeah, I was shocked that when they came up with that, and it's got a built-in light in the battery. Brake lights.
That is cool.
It's a really neat.
And how heavy is this one?
You know, you're testing me here. I think it's about, is it 50 pounds, Larry? You've got me with that.
Well, because it looks,
60 pounds.
Because it looks light, you know, because we see a lot of those bikes who, you know, they've got like a thicker down tube. Normally they'll kind of have the battery there.
What you'll find with Pedego across the board, and Laurie's just going to check the weight out for me, but our bikes typically run a lot lighter than a lot of our competitors. You know, where we're 50, 60 pounds, you'll see 70, 80 pounds. And that is very important when you're looking at transportation,
100%.
not just from your bike, but from bike racks.
Yeah.
You look at the spec.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them cut off at 60, 70 pounds. You know, you might be doubling your cost on your bike rack because the bike weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, that's a huge. So I'm in like all the Himaway groups, Ride One Up, Side Rusher, some of those guys that make like a bigger bike, and they're like, hey, what's a bike rack? I have 2 of these bikes, and that's, you know, 100 and something pounds.
Yeah, one thing, you know, we have a variety of bike racks, and, you know, but yeah, you can spend a king's ransom on, that's a very English term, I apologize, on accessories, but, you know, we go. I'm a big fan of these types, and I personally use this rack.
I like that.
This has got lights on, normally it's lit up, but it's got signals on and everything. But the nice thing about this rack, you can put your bike on really fast.
That is easy.
The bike. And the other thing is, compared to some other brands where you've got a clamp on the frame, when you're transporting this bike, you're not having anything mechanical on the frame. Plus it's got a built-in lock. So
then how does it go on the back?
In the car? It's
I guess the back wheel, how this one's set up. Like,
same here. So on this one, it's because it's got a fender on the back. There is a strap here as well.
Okay.
That we put on. It's not on the display because we take them on and off so much.
Not a whole lot of vibration going on the display.
Oh no, it's amazing. I shake these things before I drive off, and it literally, and I watch them in my mirror, and they're just solid.
That's
Plus
sweet.
we have a lock here which I put on, which is belts and suspenders, but I'm a big fan of.
So this one, I have some experience with this particular rack, and so I like this one. I've used this one quite a bit. But what is this? Because I might have a different version.
This is pulls out, but this is so you can work on the bike, and I may not be able to get it to work right now. But this.
Oh, it's like a bike clamp.
You can clamp the bike on and work on the bike.
That's cool.
If your chain comes off or something,
yeah,
you can do a quick adjustment.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a neat little accessory. And again, Kuat, we're very happy with Kuat. They've been very responsive with customer questions, and we had a bike where they had an issue with it, and they'd actually done things that they shouldn't have with the rack, but Kuat supported them anyway and
that's
fixed
cool.
them up. So that's big to us, customer support from our vendors, not just Pedego, but any one third-party vendor that we use.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it also seems like it sort of matches up with Pedego's philosophy on taking care of customers too. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the priority, you know. It's not always about the money; it's about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's important. The money follows.
Well, and we were talking earlier, and you were saying that you had a story, I guess, when you guys were going to buy your Pedegos up north. I feel like that story kind of encapsulates.
You know, it's a story. I'm almost like a broken record with that story, but it's why we're here.
Yeah. And
Vicky in Fort Worth, we were shopping for e-bikes. We'd actually ridden the city bikes. As awful as they were, it convinced certain people that this was a fun thing to do. And we just walked past a Pedego store, just struck a look. And we were talking to the dealer, going through the whole process, the purchasing process, and she asked us where we're from, and we said Houston. And she looked at us and said, "You don't need to be buying the bike from here." And we're like, "What?" "You need to go to Houston. There's a store in the Heights. That's your local store. They'll look after you and support you. If you buy it off me, you're not going to get that high level of support that you'll get from your local dealer."
So she was more concerned about you having a good experience with Pedego, the brand, as opposed to just making money selling you guys some bikes.
Absolutely, and that's what got me here, because that's a culture I feel very passionate about.
Yeah.
It's about, if we look after the customers, then the customers will come.
Yeah.
And doing the right thing is so important, and sometimes forgotten in a lot of industry today.
Yeah.
And I was seeing that a lot in other parts of industries that I was involved with, and I'm very passionate. That's something, I know it's not something I should particularly talk about myself. Hopefully my customers say that.
Yeah.
That's something I feel very strongly about.
Yeah. Well, based on the reviews, I feel like that's something that's come through for a lot of people.
Yeah, we've got some great reviews and great feedback from our customers. So
yeah. And have you ever had any negative feedback from customers?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was in our first week of opening, and
okay.
The guy walked in and wanted a regular bike tire replaced, and like a Ford dealer or a Tesla dealer, we're focused on our brand. We'll help people as much as we can, but we don't claim to have a wide stock. And the guy was very upset that we didn't have parts, and said, "You claim to be a bike shop," and wrote a really nasty review about us, saying the Pedro shop. So, and go look up the review, but then was born Pedro. So we created that day. I was working on some things, and I just built Pedro, and I put him on the wall, and I said, "Let's call him Pedro and name him after, make a positive out of our bad review."
Yeah, well, he is smiling now, so that's
he's
good.
Smiling, and we don't get many bad reviews, thankfully, so, well, we don't. That's the only bad review we've had. We're typically running at 5 stars. It was very upsetting at the time, but
yeah,
we do try to make positives out of negatives. So,
yeah.
And the star was born.
Yeah.
Except the other star, who has 21 Pedegos, which is William Shatner. he's a big Pedego fan. He actually rode one to the space rocket when he went.
Really?
With our founder, they rode to the. Both rode. I actually rode a pair of Elements.
That's cool.
To the spaceship when he flew up.
So I'll be like William Shatner then.
Well, kind of. A bit younger. But no, yeah, he's a very big Pedego fan and was a customer originally as well, I believe.
Really? Still riding at 92. Oh.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's great. But yeah, we got a lot of, don't want to name them because some don't like it, but we got even Houston Astros. The other store in Houston has sold to a number of the Houston Astros,
yeah.
I believe. So,
yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I think Craig Biggio is a big one who I believe he's put his name to the bike. He rides one I ride actually, Ridge Rider.
Okay.
Here. So one of my favorite bikes, the Ridge Rider. That and the Platinum Interceptor are my two favorites.
And does the RockShox, that comes standard on that?
Standard on that bike.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you know there are some modifications I do, like the saddle and the suspension here. I've extended because I'm old, my hands hurt, so I've extended up a bit, and we can do more little things. We can change the angle of and I also put a suspension on the handlebars.
Oh, okay, see that.
And I like my lights high up, so the lights originally mounted here. I moved my light up here, so I like to be seen.
Yeah.
And some people think I'm a like to be heard as well, but I don't believe that. But yeah, that's all the fun of what we do, you know. We can make it match your needs and make it look however you want.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And you see, and this one, you know, most of our bikes are upgradable to Class 3. It's not necessary for most people, but you know, the fact that we've got a 749 watt motor, which is the biggest allowable by law for a bike that's not a motorbike, of course, you don't need a license. So we can upgrade to Class 3 on pretty much every one of our bikes. That gives you 28 miles per hour versus 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I ride a lot on the main roads here, so I like to have it.
Yeah.
Don't always
and so did you ride those here this morning?
I actually didn't, because it's 109 degrees.
Is that something that's accessible for you guys to do sometimes?
It is. We actually do ride. It's about 12 miles to our home.
Okay.
And Class 3 is usually when it's going dark.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've been working late with a customer, so I'll put it on Class 3. And it's not a big ride for us to ride that 12 miles in the evening. Laurie does it more than I do. And the great thing, I talk about the heat and joke about the 109 degree weather, but when you ride an e-bike,
it's like AC.
It is. It cools you off. It's actually cooler riding than standing still.
Oh yeah.
That's not a Pedego thing. That's just the e-bike concept is phenomenal. And you know, the industry, you know, we're big fans of e-bikes, not just Pedego bikes. You know, we want to promote the whole concept of e-bike because it's a life changer for a lot of people. Yeah. And that's important.
I always talk to people, and you know, even people that are, you know, they own companies or they've been in it for a while. I'm like, you remember the first time you rode an e-bike? Every single one of them says yes. Like, you always remember the first time you got on one and you got that pedal assist kick in. You go, what is this? It's such a cool, fun experience.
It's funny. When we test ride with people, we always ride with the customer if we can, and it's so important to us. We have communications between us and the rider, so we can talk and get it fit. But one of the common things is we'll hear, as they ride around the corner and they don't forget that they've got the intercom on them, we'll hear a big woo! And it's so funny because they're having so much fun and they've just got lost in the little world of the e-bike. And riding an e-bike is just, nobody can explain what it's like. You've got to do it.
So it looks like the video got cut off a little bit there, but we had transitioned over here to the accessory wall and we were talking about some of the maintenance and stuff. So you're going to walk us through kind of where we were at with that?
Yeah, well, maintenance is, I think it's one of the forgotten things is, you know, a lot of places you take your car, your bike, whatever for service, the detail's missing, and it's so important, the little detail. And like the sculptor who did the back of the sculpture, and someone said to him, "Why are you doing the back? Nobody sees that." And he said, "I do." And that's kind of how I feel as, oh, hey Sarah, another Pedego family member here. She works with us. This is Sarah. So,
hi, Mitch.
What's your name?
Mitch.
Mitch.
He's
nice to meet you.
Review on
So you're the
store.
vlogger.
That's me, yep.
Nice. How's it going?
So, good. We're in the middle of recording,
Oh.
so... Right. see there.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I know it could do into the video, but customers first, right? So, yeah, with the service, you know, the detail is important. So when a bike comes in, our goal is to make the bike look like the day they bought it.
Yeah.
Even if we didn't make the bike or sell the bike, if it comes in here, it's going to look good. We pay attention to detail. We have ultrasonic baths for cleaning chains, for cleaning components. We select the right lubricant based on what the customer does. We also coat the bike with a protective coating from UV and scratches to help protect the paint. We try to use premium products. If there's scratches on the bike, we'll try to match the paint and touch it up. Not always can we do that, but we do most of the time make it look. The goal is to make the bike look brand new.
Yeah.
And that's something we feel very strongly about. When we do little modifications to the bike, like cutting a seat post, we do a clean cut. I've seen people do it in other shops, do it with sawzills and leave rough edges. Yeah, and someone once said to me, well, the customer doesn't see it. And that's so important to me that it doesn't matter if the customer sees it, because what I've learned as an engineer is if you do it right in every detail and take the time to do it right up front, the long-term effect is much better.
Yeah.
And our customers are investing in a bike for 10 years in my mind. Not the 5-year warranty, the 10-year life.
Yeah.
And we've got to ensure that that bike lasts and it's reliable.
Yeah.
That's our reputation.
And you were saying that you have people bringing bikes from like 2011, 2012?
Yeah.
They've owned them that long?
Yeah, and some of the original battery's still working. It's amazing. We don't say the battery will last 10 years, 12 years, but we have seen it. And again, we will maintain any Pedego bike from day one, 2008. We will maintain and repair that bike.
That's cool.
That's very important that they know that we're going to be there to support them for the long term, not just the short term. And with 200 plus stores, it's not just us that can do that, it's every store. So yeah, 100 miles. So, the key is not only when they bring it in for the 100-mile service, is that we talk to the customer again and identify that the seat is not right, the position's wrong. We identify any potential issues and make adjustments and changes. And I don't always encourage people to buy the saddle up front or do adjustments right away. Ride it, come back in 100 miles, and we'll do that adjustment at no charge as long as it doesn't take any new components.
Yeah, so you're actually testing out the seat, and then if there's any accessories that you want, it's like you ride the bike around for a little bit and you go, oh, this would be nice. And then I'm actually going to use this accessory. Because a lot of people will come, what I've seen a lot is people go like, well, I'm going to get the front basket. And then they never use the front basket. It sits in their garage, gathers dust, and they're like, I probably shouldn't have bought that. But if they ride around for, 100 miles or so, and they start to think like, oh, I could use a front basket in all these situations, that's a really solid, way to figure out what additions you want on the bike.
And I always say, think like the customer. Pretend you're the customer, not the other way around. So treat them like it's like you want to be treated. And the accessories we can always add to the bike down the road.
Yeah.
It's not something you need to do right away. The key is getting on the bike and riding. That's what's important.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys do have all the stuff to customize bikes and things like that here.
Absolutely. Color-coded, color match, should I say, to the bike, watches.
Yeah, because I'm seeing, there's, different bag options here, different light options, some tools, which are, having something like this where it's like a little multi-tool it's always a good idea. On every bike that I have, I've got a little, pack somewhere.
Absolutely.
I carry something like that.
A pump and tools. It's one of those things that people don't think they need, but sometimes something loosens or you need to adjust something. It's always nice to have a little toolkit.
Oh yeah.
And with like cars, bike parts are typically metric, so people get caught in the little hole there when they need a part. They go in the garage and it's like, oh, I don't have that. So those little multi-tools have pretty much got everything you need. And we actually do provide a little toolkit with the bike when you buy it.
Okay.
So, it's important that they can make those little adjustments if necessary. But we're always here if they need to. I always say we have free air. If you want to come in, free air.
Yeah.
So, don't you know, if you need tire pressures, check in. And I always say, keep the phone number. Any questions?
Yeah.
Because buying an e-bike is quite overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you got to know. There's a lot of things to maintain if you're going to do it yourself. So there's a big education curve, I think, for a lot of people.
And it's important that they know that they've got someone there to answer the questions. And you know, I don't like phone calls at 3 in the morning on Sunday, but you know, we do like people to know that they can call us in the evening after the store hours. And 9 times out of 10, we will pick the phone up and help them out.
Yeah.
We know that sometimes it's someone, I don't know, that they've forgotten to turn the key or something.
Right, yeah.
And they call us and they're in the middle of nowhere and they're stressed. We had someone who was, at one time, was struggling with their lock. And they were out in the desert and they were really upset and stressed, and they called us and we said, oh, you have to have the key in to put the lock back together. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. And it was great.
Yeah.
You know, that frustration could have gone for days.
Yeah.
But we fixed it over a phone call at 7 o'clock while we're eating dinner. I'm much happier with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, and again, it's the whole concept of after the fact. A lot of our, you know, we're like an iceberg. A lot of the things under the surface.
Yeah.
That people don't see up front.
Well, they talk about, you know, when people are shopping for e-bikes, specifically online, you know, there's lots of good resources to go and like compare different bikes and stuff like that. You know, Pedego does have, in most cases, like a higher price tag than a lot of the other bikes. But all the stuff that you're talking about, all those brands are not providing any of the support and.
You know, and the list goes on, and the peace of mind that comes with a Pedego is just. It can't be put into words what we offer.
Yeah.
The whole relationship from the minute you walk in the store, it's about keeping that customer not worrying about the bike, making them comfortable with any of the decisions after the fact. We don't want regret.
Yeah.
We don't, you know, and that peace of mind and having fun are the two biggest things we sell. We don't sell bikes, we sell peace of mind and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to get into the review, and you said part of the typical customer journey is we do a bike ride with them, right? You want to make sure everything's fits well and stuff like that.
We have a concept of not only do we, you know, as I was saying, you go to the doctor, you know what's wrong with you. The doctor just puts it into fancy words, and that's kind of how I feel about the bike. When we ride the bike, we have these helmets. These helmets have a built-in intercom, and it's like being in a living room. I ride at 28 miles per hour on my bike, and I can talk. My doctor's office actually called me, and they thought I was in my office, and I was riding down the road on my bike with the helmet.
Yeah.
So we can communicate with them. We go on group rides with these, and any renters we give these to rent when they rent the bikes.
So they can talk to each other while they're out there riding.
Talk to each other.
Yeah.
But when we're riding with the customer, we can ask them questions. And what I've found is that over that time you ride with the customer, and this could be I've had customers come in at 10 in the morning, leave at 5, 6 at night, working on getting the bike right. But what I see when I ride with them is the position, the pain. I can see people, if their knees are hurting, you can see them. So I can analyze that as we ride.
Yeah.
And I'll often come back and I'll say, look, I know you like that bike, just try this bike.
Yeah.
And they'll get on it and they'll go, oh my gosh, what a difference.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you buy a bike online.
Right.
You have to pay $200 just to ship the thing back.
Yeah.
And argue with someone over the phone. that you did more than 10 miles and your warranty's gone.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do that. We get the bike right before you take it out of the store.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, that's one of the things that I asked about. You know, you were saying, you know, you do test rides and stuff, you know, asking if, you know, that was free. Because there's some people who, you know, some stores, they don't do test rides. Like, if you want this bike, you know, maybe you can, like, you know, sit on it and kind of roll it around a little bit, but they don't allow you to go test ride. And maybe they're in a retail spot, maybe it doesn't make sense for where they're at. But you guys are here, and you got some trails just around the corner?
Absolutely, 222 miles, I believe we have.
And you can have access to it from the store?
Absolutely, we just ride out of here, and we go for a ride, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. And I have people who even live in the Woodlands, and I've got some little routes I do that they'll go, wow, I didn't even know this was here. And we've got the sculpture route, I got my little off-roading area where we go down in the bayous and different things like that. And I got my own. One thing when I ride with a customer, even on tours, we have an introductory tour to introduce people to e-bikes. They'll call me and they'll say, well, where are you going to take me? And I know it's a strange answer. I'll say, I don't know. Because what I do is I change the route as we ride. So I assess the rider. Because someone might think they can ride in the bayous and they can't get down the street to start with. So we adapt the ride to the rider. And then we can, again, it's back to that assessment that, they may be thinking mountain bike, trail bike, and they really need a road bike. So the trails we ride vary based on the customer and the rider's confidence level. Confidence is a big thing with bikes, especially if you haven't ridden in a long time. And we try to, instead of just putting them on a bike and sending them out there, we want to evolve that confidence, and then the rest falls in. So it's important.
So I guess with this one, you were saying that there might be some upgrades or things you were thinking about switching out?
So it's always, one of the cool things about Pedego, I often say, I think I've said it 10 times already, make the bike fit the person, not the person fit the bike. So comfort's a big thing. We do a little program where people can borrow several saddles. You can see, you look at these saddles, the variety of saddle. It's tremendous, and I could talk for hours about saddles and research saddles. And we don't have this here for a reason to decorate. We don't murder people or anything here. We actually we understand the science of saddles. So when a customer, and not always that's something someone wants to get in right away. We can do that down the road as we do the 100-mile service whenever. But the importance is if we understand the science behind the bike and the rider, we can get them in the perfect saddle. And my ideal saddle is the saddle, not that's comfortable, but the saddle when I've ridden it and I go, what was the saddle like? And go, I didn't even notice it. And that, and again, riding to the store, put your Crocs on. Riding 30 miles, you want some good riding shoes. And that's kind of how I look at it with saddles. It's dependent on the customer and their needs. So, I've had customers come in very upset about the saddle, the bike, because of back pain and stuff. And we'll lend them a few saddles and send them out. And we're even a case where we lent them a bike while we serviced their bike and said, go out, ride this bike and switch these saddles. And that actual story, he called me in within an hour and said, wow, you're a genius, which is not true.
The story's not true, or you being a genius isn't true?
The story's true. I wish I could say it the other way around. But no, simple things like saddles can make a big difference, but that's not something people always want pushed on them at the beginning of the process.
Because for most people, there's a steep learning curve, like how does the pedal assist work? Does the throttle work? If I pedal, like what happens then? There's a lot to learn, I think.
It's overwhelming. And when you start pushing a saddle on someone right off the bat, it tends to, it's a negative thing. They need to ride with the standard saddle sometimes just to understand what might happen. And then we can get them fixed. And that's the beauty of being right next door. We can do that. We have that power to make sure that everybody's happy, and we can adjust. And then, there's so many stages of the Pedego process. It so matters that we have to be there for the whole journey. We're not here for the short term. We're here for the 10-year trip. And that's been proven over the years, because we've been here, and Pedego is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, electric bike company out there.
Because it founded in 2008. That's longer than a majority of the companies, I think. So I guess on this one, we were talking earlier, and you were talking about the mirror.
So the mirror. What I love is someone else hates. This mirror is actually more popular on our cruisers, but we have mirrors that go in the handlebars.
So it kind of gets the mirror out there a little bit more.
puts it out there a bit further so you can see back. We can put mirrors on both sides. We can do different shapes of mirrors. And the same phone holders, you know, cup holders, locks, you know. We can position and change them to make it to what you want.
Yeah.
The bell, it doesn't have to be a black miserable bell. We can have flowers, we can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, within reason. I like the frying pan one with an egg on it.
Yeah.
It looks like a handle on the bell.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but again, some people want to have it wild and out there, and some people want it plain and slick. So it's just a personal preference, and we'll adapt the bike to it. But you know, accessories like this is another accessory, a thumb throttle.
Oh, because it's a twist throttle, but then you make
can twist it, but we can put that accessory on.
Oh, I like that.
It's a low-cost accessory. My wife hates this. I like it.
Yeah.
It's preference.
Yeah, I'm a big thumb throttle guy. So on all the bikes that I've kept long term that have twist throttles, I will upgrade those. But also, it's not necessarily because I hate this, like this motion, because motorcycle is kind of it's kind of fun. But I found that with a lot of twist throttles, and then they go to match the grip to it, it's not flawless. Like this kind of moves or it's in a different position. But this seems like it's very in line. And it doesn't change your grip as much as some of these other.
And it can be adjusted as well, the position of it. You know, again, we've got the gears and things, and we've moved displays and things to different places, you know, to match the customer. But we actually had someone who wanted the throttle on the other side, which we weren't excited about. But he was actually filming for. They were doing the Ironman filming, and they wanted the throttle and everything.
Because he was going to use the right hand for his camera, stuff like that.
So we adapted it for them. We did see a couple of potential safety issues, which we addressed with them, but it was a unique circumstance.
Yeah.
And we got there, but really, I could make this bike look totally different, and we can put baskets, cow horns on, handlebars, cow horn handlebars. We just do all sorts with the bikes, and some dealers really get creative with what they do. Some of them powder coat, and we've looked at it. It's not something we've got into yet.
Yeah.
But they repaint the bike. We had a customer come from the store in Louisiana last week. He had got his LSU colours. It was rather dangerous coming into Aggie Land with LSU colours, but he got it purple and. Forgive me if it's wrong, purple and yellow?
Yeah. Or purple and gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But really neat, nice couple, and he loved his bike, and his wife had got not got a Pedego, and he had a Pedego, and they went to ride together, and she's going to go and get one from the store. Again, we sent her to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
That's where she needs to buy the bike.
Yeah.
That was what we did. We just got them in a position where we could support the other dealer.
Yeah,
that's important to us.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well, I'm like I said, I'm stoked to ride it. So I guess any of the upgrades you were talking about doing that might elevate the experience. You guys want to take care of those, and we can hang out, and then we'll go for a ride.
Yeah, and the saddle again, I can only make it fit. So if you prefer a different saddle, then that's for you to, and we can change it while we ride as well. But I usually say to customers, you pick a saddle, we'll put that on and ride with it.
Okay.
And we can come back. So you're welcome to choose a saddle. I'm a fan of this one or this one. But
okay.
That's we can put that, and it's a really easy swap. It's. And this one's got the nice suspension on as well.
Yeah.
So, and this bike is very deceptive. A lot of people think, because just the design of it looks like a smaller bike.
When I saw it online, it did look like a smaller bike. When you get into it in person, you're like, no, it's a full size.
It's a full size bike.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a little bit more compact, I think, from like a length perspective. But it is, full size.
We've got a beautiful suspension on this. It came with a spring suspension. But you can see the difference. This is it's a very top of the line suspension on it.
Yeah.
And we're big fans of the Connect
And you can also swap out the spring color too on there.
Yes.
I saw the orange one over there had an orange spring in the back, which that was really cool.
Yeah. And what we do typically is, again, this is back to the 100-mile thing. I got boxes of springs back there.
Yeah.
So they come back, and actually just this last week I had someone come back, and I was like, she was a very petite lady, and the tension was incredible on here. It was real. And I said, "Are you enjoying the suspension?" She says, "It's not doing anything." I said,
"Yeah,
okay." And I did it for her, and she's like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference.
Well, and having it, so the main adjustment for that is right here, right?
Yeah, and there is an accessory. We can add this to it where that's actually used as a tool to adjust it, but there's an accessory here that.
So you do it with your hand?
Do it with your fingers, yeah.
Ah, okay.
So there's always something. There's always an innovator out there that comes up with a better solution. So.
Yeah, I'm also kind of a fan of this too. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's of course you can have suspension on your forks, but especially on the mountain bikes, a lot of people, your position's different. So I get numb hands here, right on my palms, and that helps relieve it a little. You know, gloves. Again, there's many solutions, but that helps a little because it takes some of the force out of it when you're banging. You know, when you're riding through a forest or something, you're going to feel a lot of impact. So that helps, and you know, changing the angle, changing your seat, lots of different things we can do to adapt to that. But you know, as I get older, I find instead of the pains moving around my body, they just add to one to the next. So I need more accessories, more things to relieve the pain. You know, things like extension bars to make the handlebars higher. That helps me a lot. And we can change the angles. Lots of little things we can do. Change the handlebars. And I don't know, we may have some that we've modified. I think right here, you know, it's a slightly different model of yours, but we've got the suspension here.
Oh, yeah.
And you see how it's angled up. We got this one where we've modified it.
Yeah.
And you know, we could put different, there's lots of things we could do. You could talk all day on different mods. But
that's sweet. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm stoked to ride it, so I guess if you guys want to work on that, we can hang out and then we'll go for a ride.
We'll get it. So we'll put that saddle on for you, and we'll put put some of these, here, we'll get some of these on it so you can have a little wider, more panoramic view. And we'll get that done for you in a few minutes and get you off riding.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'll see you in a couple minutes then.
All right, you got it.
This is Peg and Bruce, some of our customers and frequent friends that come back and just sit and have coffee, and we just enjoy them and have a good day today.
Yeah, because you guys showed up, nobody else is here yet, but you guys showed up early, you guys got some coffee.
Yeah.
And then from what I understand, you guys do that quite a bit.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and you guys own Pedegos?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay, how long have you guys owned Pedegos?
Oh, what, about a year or so?
You started first, and then you were riding, what, 100 miles? And loved it, and so then I came up with him a couple times just to kind of see them and fell in love with them, and then they got me on a bike ride, and we did 26 miles. It was like
first Pedego bike ride. She went 20 odd miles.
And it was like, this is it. And it's now developed into a must-do thing.
Yeah.
A couple times a week.
Yeah. No, I always tell people, like, you never forget the first time you ride an e-bike. It's a very magical experience.
It is.
Yeah. So you guys own, like, which ones do you own?
Bruce owns a boomerang.
Okay.
And I have the Interceptor.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what makes this place so special, I think, is because when we came in, they saw, we liked the bikes, I mean, of course, but they customize it for you. I mean, he needed a boomerang, and I was a little bit different. They did the seat, I mean, everything is customized and personalized, so it becomes a great experience for you. And you have, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, 100%. So you guys have owned them for about a year or so?
Yeah.
And then what would you say is, like, from the, I guess, on the product side of things, you guys are enjoying the bikes?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. And then, we talked a little bit about sort of like the 100-mile servicing and things like that. Have you guys brought your bikes back in and had that experience?
Yes.
And that's the other thing is we had a tire, and came up, fixed it, we were on the road again. I
Yeah.
mean, the service is just exceptional.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to, is that's
Yeah.
a big part of it is, yeah, the service and taking care of the customers and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess, what do you guys have to say to people? You know, they might be in the market for an e-bike. What would you tell them about the experience and maybe how they can get into it?
They need to stop here,
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
yeah. So when you guys got into e-bikes, were you familiar with e-bikes before, or was this was your first experience
No,
with it?
this was pretty much our first introductory ride, and takes a while to get used to it. But
Yeah. And so when you guys came in here, you bought the bikes, would you say that when you left with the bikes, you felt pretty confident with it? Like, you got the amount of training and education you needed to go out there?
She
For sure.
actually rides with you up around the area, so I felt totally, because you're nervous. And she rode with her bike and I rode, and we talked, and walked me through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Or
that-
rode me through the whole thing.
that's sweet.
The
So-
right thing.
So as far as like your guys' experiences here, 5 stars?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
No question.
Very cool. Yeah, because they were actually talking about you guys earlier, and they were like, yeah, they're more like family than customers.
That's the plus experience with them.
Yeah. That is sweet. Well, I appreciate you guys, sharing your insights, and you have anything else you want to tell anybody that's in the Woodlands area?
If you want an e-bike, this is definitely the location to come. And even if you don't know what they are, give it a shot. You will be amazed at what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, even because we're older, and it's like,
Yeah.
we can ride bikes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sweet. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No
all
problem.
right,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, so we made some of the adjustments. We've got the different mirrors in there. We've added the seat suspension post. So now we're going to walk through setting the bike up.
Okay, so one thing with an e-bike is we press the power button, it comes on, and then we go to our display showing us all the different modes. 0, so this is the mode the bike's in. 0 means nothing's going to happen. Your throttle's not going to work, your pedal, it's a regular bike. You ride this, you wouldn't know the difference between a regular bike and not. When we get on the bike, this is a safety thing I think is very important that you and people understand, is that when you get on the bike, apply the brakes. That has an electronic cutout on the motor, so the motor cannot move. Especially when we put a paddle on here,
Yeah, people might catch that.
people catch it and the bike shoots forward, so it's a safety thing. Also on 0, nothing can happen, but if I put it onto 1 and I brake, nothing happens, but if I do it,
Yeah.
so it's always important to put the brakes on, put it in 0, brakes on, step on the bike.
And so the light changes based on the pedal assist too?
So
That's
not only
interesting.
does it change, I'm going to go in the back door here, probably should cover it, so secret back door. We can go in here and let's go through it all. Some things that I can do, reset the trip meter. I can adjust the top speed of the throttle.
Okay.
And we can actually pre-configure this. This is not something we always expect the customer to do.
Yeah.
Tire size, miles per hour, kilometers per hour. This is pedal assist. I like to call that cruise control.
Okay.
You set it to a setting and that's a set speed.
Yeah.
And it's switched on. One of the unique things we do is we have pedal assist and torque running at the same time on our bikes. And that gives us a little advantage. So why would we turn the throttle on and off? I've never actually turned one off for someone yet, but some of the state parks and places don't allow throttles. So we can give you a letter confirming that we've deactivated, and we can actually electronically deactivate the throttle. So when you go to the state park, you can present them with a letter from us saying that the bike has had the throttle deactivated. That helps people out a lot.
Yeah.
So again, that's back to the knowing your customer and helping your customer. So this is the torque setting. So we talked about speed cruise control. Torque setting is based on force on the pedal. So if you think you're riding along nice and comfy, and then you hit a hill and your gears are not right, and it's really hard, you know, when you stand up and do that. Well, the minute it feels extra force on the pedal, it cuts the motor in. So you can actually maintain a speed while you're riding the bike without pedal assist. So let's say you're riding a speed above the cruise control, it will maintain that speed as you hit the hill, whereas if you're on cruise control, if you hit the hill, it'll slow down.
Yeah.
So you tend to ride the bike more in torque mode,
Gotcha.
which has two advantages. You exercise more, and it extends the battery life by about 15%.
Okay.
So using torque has got a lot of positives. Plus, it's just more fun to ride.
Yeah, 100%.
So you turn these on and off. Oh, this was class 3. So this bike is set up for class 3. We have to put a class 3 sticker on when we upgrade the bike to class 3
Okay.
to indicate what mode it's set to. Class 3 is the 28 miles per hour for the pedal, but not the throttle. The throttle is still 20 miles per hour. So
Yeah.
we have 3 classes of bike, 1, 2, and 3. So this is now configured to class 3. And this one is the light here.
Oh, okay.
And see how it dims it?
Oh, yeah.
Not a lot of people know that, but
That's fun.
we hide it there. And then this is all the software versions, which really, you know, the display version. There's a right here on this bike. There's this. That's where this is where the brain is.
That's where the controller's at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I call it the brain.
The brain, yeah.
Controller is the correct term. And this is the versions of software we have in it. It's not something a customer will particularly get involved with. There's also a walk mode. If you hold the button, I'm not going to do it in here, so I haven't got a whole lot of room, but you can hold the button in and walk with the bike.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little feature. So on the display, we've got speed of the bike, the battery management system here, BMS, is showing the battery right now as percentage. We can show the voltage of the battery, we can show how many charges the bike's had. I'm not going to go through all the menus because there's way too much information. We can look at odometer. Every time you go for a ride, it measures the time you ride for, so you know how long you've been riding for. And then this is the total miles on the bike versus trip. This here tells you what mode the bike's in. And I don't know whether we'll be able to film this, but as you ride, there's a little bar graph here that tells you how much the bike is assisting you.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll have people say, oh, the bike didn't assist me at all. I actually put someone on a class 3, and I forgot that I'd put him on a class 3, and he said, I've been riding at 28 miles per hour. And the guy walked in the store like I'm like talking now, and I thought, if you've been riding at 28 miles per hour for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
I'd know it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said, oh, I think I left it on class 3. He's like, no, I was riding at that speed.
Yeah.
It's so subtle, you don't realize the bike's assisting you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that tells you when the bike's assisting you.
So is it kind of like a wattage meter, showing you how much?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just bar graph basically. Yeah, so it indicates how much the bike's helping and how much work you're doing, which, you know, a lot of people don't really look at that, but I like to look at it because I like to actually get the benefit of riding the bike as well.
Yeah.
It's the same with torque. I like to use torque because I use my gears more, and to me it's more fun.
Yeah.
Now there's other people that like to just put it in one gear, use pedal assist, and they're happy all day long.
Yeah.
We're all different with that, so it's a personal thing, and again, I always say it's not for me to tell them.
Yeah.
It's for people to find out, and I'll find as people ride. Two things I see what people do over time. The first thing is the saddle rises. When they first sit on the bike, the saddle is down low.
Yeah.
But then 6 months later or a month or two later, they raise the saddle because they've realized that the pain on the knees goes away the higher they raise the saddle.
Yeah.
But that's back to the confidence thing we talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always set the saddle to where you're comfortable to start with. But, you know, that can be adjusted during a ride. When we go out now, we'll go out on the ride and we'll do it. And you can put phones on the phone holder. So this is ready to go. I'm going to grab helmets. So we got really kind of special helmets that we use. Sena helmets, and Sena's great because they make motorbike helmets. So
Yeah.
the communications are phenomenal, and these helmets, we turn them on and we can have multiple riders on a mesh network up to half a mile apart. In fact, each helmet works as a transmitter, so we can be miles apart if there's enough of us. So, and we can communicate like we're talking in a living room.
That's cool.
So it helps us coach and work with people well. So we'll get kitted out,
Okay.
go for a ride, and have a lot of fun.
Okay, let's do it.